Thank you. Ah, now that's good. All righty. Here we are today. Oh, wow. All four of us. Well, six of us. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see here. Today we've got a lovely day planned. And the only reason I'm here is because it's raining really strongly. And I just was bored. I thought, I don't want to stay at home. I want to go out. So here I am again where I usually come in the morning, although not always. And I just thought, hey, why not? Hey, who are these people that I'm dealing with, and what is it they want? If you've ever seen Seinfeld, you know that comes from Seinfeld. Anyway, good morning, Sawadee Kap. Sawadee. Watdee. You know, in the South they say Watdee. They don't say Sawadee. Watdee. That's what they say. Badi mai. So, today we're going to talk about the world's best tourists, which I think is kind of funny. Which place in Thailand to visit in June for a month? Well, you got the whole country. Oh my goodness. You have the whole country to choose from. I mean, I have no idea really where you want to go. You could always go to Chiang Mai. That's the old standby, you know. You can go to Koh Samui if you want the beach. You can do whatever you want, you know. Good morning. Which place? What do you mean, not really? What are you talking? I don't understand. Not really what? You have the whole country. You could go anywhere you want. D. Nothing against you. I'm talking to It's Crazy. Listen, you're saying which would be the best. Listen, where is the best is up to him, is up to me, is up to whoever is going. If he's never been to Thailand, Chiang Mai won't be boring. Jesus Christ. I know you think you're right all the time, but you're not. And neither am I. You want a suggestion, you might as well just pin the tail on the donkey. You know, really. Just get a map, spin yourself around, and then stick it on the map. That's what you could do. Chiang Mai is boring. Listen, and Koh Samui is a place where the mafia runs wild. Okay? If you really want to get into it, you can say that. You can say that about Phuket. You can say, I mean, really. Please, don't get me started, all right? Good morning, Bruce. Oh, my God. He's on what does it say? He's on about the time of year. That's my point, mate. Oh, my God. This is what I mean. This is what I deal with. Listen, he could go to Bangkok and have a good time. D, is it your first time coming to Thailand? I'm just curious to know. You have a month, so you can go to several places if you want. You could go to 2 places for 2 weeks. You could go to 1 place for for a month. You could go to 4 places for a week each. So a little more input from you would be appreciated. Sawadee. Maurice, you don't say Sawadee Ka, you say Sawadee Cup. If you're a male, you say Sawadee Cup. You don't say Sawadee Ka.
Put that P on the end.
I know they did that in White Lotus, but that's not correct. They did do that. Yeah. Some of the guys were going, Sawadee Ka! And I'm like, oh, God. Anybody, you know, who really has half a brain, if somebody says sawadee ka, if you say sawadee ka, and then the person that you're talking to says, no, the right way to say it is sawadee ka because you are a male. The right way for a female is sawadee ka. Then generally everybody picks it up. Then they don't do it again. Which I'm not getting on you, Maurice. I'm just telling you, it's sawadee ka. Just so you know.
Self-referential.
Anyway, now that we got through that little bombastic period, Bruce, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a little while. Thank you very much. I'll just say that, if you know what I mean. Appreciate it. What was I going to say? What were we going to talk about?
Traveling in June.
No, we're not. We're done with that. All right, so I got onto this kick here about best tourists, worst tourists. I have a lot of things on my mind now because, you know, I made this video yesterday. It's a very innocent video. It has nothing to do with me being anti-Semitic or being somebody who hates Israelis. You guys may get that picture for some reason. All I'm saying is, whatever nationality it is, whether it's Israeli or Americans or Thais, when you go somewhere, you need to behave. If you don't behave, okay, I understand there are levels to everything. But if you become such a jackass that you start saying to somebody, no, I'm not taking my shoes off, I'm not going to do anything, that's not a reason to ban the whole nationality from coming into the country. I understand that. The point is that in 2025, there have been numerous incidences of Israelis performing like basically everything they're doing, not everything. I don't want to say everything. I don't want to stereotype. You have to stereotype. They've been engaged in bad behavior, at least some of them. And of course, there was the guy who was shitting in the taxi, which, you know, I don't know if that's bad behavior or he was an old man and he had a problem. Really. He could have, I don't hold that against him, but it is something that happened. And I wouldn't want it to happen in my taxi. You know what I mean? And I think the guy, I think he gave him 1,500 baht, which is about what it would be to clean up a load in a...
I remember you said that was the police guidance for him to give.
I think so, yes. I think they came there and they tried to negotiate everything. He wanted to give them 500 baht, and then they said, no, 1,500 is a little more like it. If you just do a little bit of throw up in the back of their van and you can clean it up real easy, and it's a piece of cake or something, maybe you want to give them 500 baht. You know, if your fare is 100, you go, listen, here's 500 baht. That's what you do here. You cure things with money. Money talks, bullshit walks. And I hate to tell you, all those guys out there who are cheap, I hate to tell you that, but that's the honest truth. When I had a lot of money when I lived here, oh my God, things were so easy. Really. Now I have a fair amount of money. I'm not rich and I'm not poor. And things are a piece of cake. I don't have all these problems. So what I would say to anyone is, if you are misbehaving, okay, well, at what level are you misbehaving? Do you just get a little bit drunk and, you know, you grab a chick's ass in the bar or something, and she goes, oh, don't do that to me, and she's playing around, you go, all right, whatever. No big deal. However, if you start doing things that are a little over the top, like you get involved in an emergency room and you start fighting with the people in the emergency room, you need to go to jail. And if you're not going to go to jail, then you should be deported. And I don't care if you're American. You could be American. I don't care. I'm American, right? You could be an American. But, dude, you're out. You're an idiot. You got to use your brain. You got to have half a brain. I mean, really, I'm not that smart. But I'm smart enough to know you don't get yourself involved in situations that are going to cause you problems. All right? That said, let me go on here. If I can find what I'm supposed to do here. Here we go, yes. Because I didn't really have all that much time today because I'm in a little bit of a hurry, because I just thought, Why not? Why shouldn't I stream today? I said, okay, next week, but it is next week, and I will stream on Friday. We're streaming about the worst tourists in the world on Friday. So I figure we might as well do the best tourist based on global reputation, cultural sensitivity, spending habits, and respectful behavior. That's what we're talking about. We're also going to do the honorable mention. So we want to know who are the best tourists in the world. And in this video, I break down the top 10 who are known for being respectful, generous, culturally aware. You know, you're not somebody that walks around with your head up your ass and goes, no, I want to do things my way. And these are the people that most locals want to see come through the door. People want to get along with each other. Now, if you walk in and you do something like when I was on the train, if you guys remember, I took a train up to, I think it was Chiang Mai. And then from Chiang Mai, I had to take like a, I don't know, it was a minivan or something. And I went to this other location and I got to the river, to the Mekong River. And then I took a train from there and I went to Laos. Took 2 days. And when I was on the train, I don't know if any of you remember this, but I was sitting there and there was a French guy. You know, he was your typical kind of stereotypical backpacker type. He had braids in his hair, you know, and like he's wearing like a ratty old shirt and ratty old shorts, and he had no shoes on. He didn't have shoes, period. He didn't have shoes on, and he didn't have shoes with him. So he's walking around barefoot. He's on the train, he doesn't have any shoes. He goes to sit down, and it's, okay, understand. Now, the guy stunk, and the reason I know that is because I was sitting across from him, and I could smell him. I'm not thinking anything, you know, whatever, I'm not going to say anything. And then he puts his feet up on the chair, his dirty, stinky feet, where he's walking around in the train. He's walking around in the train with no shoes, and then he just goes into the bathroom, comes out, walks around, then he comes back, and he puts his feet, oh, I put my feet up. Puts his feet up on the chair. I just went, oh my God, I don't want to see this, because it's a bad example of a tourist. And then a girl sat down next to him, and he had to get out again because he had to go walk around in his stinky feet. So he starts walking around. He's walking around. He comes back, and he says to her, you know, can I get in? Can I sit down? He sits down, and immediately he puts his feet up. And she looks at him, and she goes, oh, God. She, like, you could see I was watching the whole thing, and she just goes, she was like scared of this guy, like, oh God. Well, disgusted is a better word. She was disgusted by him. And he didn't have a freaking clue. He put a towel or blanket or whatever the hell over his face. He just sat there with his feet up on the chair. And I thought, I just want to walk over there and smack his fucking leg down. Like, have you no respect for any place that you go? Of course, I mind my own business. Don't say a word. I leave it to the conductor if he's going to do anything, which of course he didn't, because that's how Thais are generally. Most of the time they are non-confrontational. Now, I guess if you walk into a restaurant and they ask you to take off your shoes and you don't take off your shoes, and you go, oh, my feet hurt. My foot is bad. I got a bad foot. Honey, listen, stop whining. Nobody wants to hear it. If you got like, you cut your foot open and you got a cast on your foot, okay, I understand. Or you got it wrapped up in an ace bandage, okay, I understand. But you didn't. And the Thai just goes, you know, like, come on. You can hear it in her voice. You know, listen, I got to read this here. Brandon, you of course withdrew your stupid remark that you always post. Yeah, it's like the Chinese who shit in the street, yeah, and bum rush the lines. I have seen a Chinese kid piss and shit in the airport, and it was disgusting. and it was uncalled for because there, of course, were bathrooms everywhere, and this lady's got him in the diapers that have an opening. His little balls are hanging out. His dick is hanging out. It's not the kid's fault. And she's just like, she gets indignant when they ask her to clean it up. I'm not saying all, but I worked in San Francisco parks and had to tell Chinese tourists to use bathroom indoors. I mean, you can look at it in a number of different ways. The bottom line is it's disgusting. But you could say, hey, listen, in our country, we like to use the toilet. Right? That's what you could say. Or you could just say, hey, listen, you're from another country, and I understand you're having a problem here, but don't do it again. You're supposed to use the toilet. That's basically what you could do. I wouldn't go and just like beat on the guy because he's shit in the street. I mean, it happens all over the world, all right? You don't have to, get that. I enjoy your content, Scott, but I have a question. Why do Thais absolutely adore doing things as a group? Is individualism considered frowned upon? I don't know who you're hanging out with, because I can tell you that I'm sitting here with my friend Tom, and he and his wife generally don't do things in a group. They do things together. My wife and I, we generally do things with our family. We don't do things with other people. Although once in a while, if we're down in the South, we'll talk to her family and we'll say, and they're, some of them are distant family. She's got sisters.
Would you share that online if I send it to you?
Yeah, go send it to me. Maybe I'll share it. I can't really look at it right now. All right.
I'll tell you what it was after.
Okay. Yeah, I know that Chinese do it in the mainland. And I mean, as soon as I got to Hong Kong, I went to a coffee shop, and that girl turned out to be one of my biggest sources of information. She would let me know when everything was happening. But she said to me, don't get it wrong. I'm not a Chinese. I don't shit in the streets. I was like, whoa. She was vehement about, don't get me mixed up with them. Now, as far as the individualism goes, I go out with my wife and my kids. I go out with my wife. Once in a great while, if we're down in the South, we'll have like 8 or 10 of us and we go somewhere. And I only go because I have some control through my wife of what's happening. Because listen, the last time I went somewhere with them, we went to the Emerald Lagoon, which is in Nakhon Si Thammarat. I've been there 3 times now. The 3rd time we went, they charged me, 400 baht, and they charged the Thais 40 baht. And, the time before that, they charged me 40 baht. And I went, and the thing is I would have paid. I thought that my wife had paid. And I just keep walking. And this guy's screaming at me. And finally I turn around. I go, what the? I turn around. And he's like, you need to pay. So I look at my wife. I said, hey, I don't have any money. You got money. Give me my money. You didn't pay? She goes, oh, I didn't know you wanted me to pay. I thought you paid already. I thought I paid already. I thought she paid already. I said, okay. I paid the guy. I go in. None of the people with us wanted to go swimming. None of the kids and none of the other people. And I went, well, what did we come here for if we're not going to go swimming? So me and Nicholas went swimming together. I think Alex was sick and he didn't go. Bo didn't want to go. Everybody else didn't want. I'm like, so we came here, we paid that money to drive an hour and a half, to come here, walk a half an hour to get to the place, and go in, and I'm the only one who swims with Nicholas. That's it, just us 2. And there are a huge number of people there. I mean, you're talking about 300 people or something in this lagoon. And it's slippery, it's a little dangerous, And afterwards, I just went, I'm not doing this again. When I go, which is what I usually do, when I go somewhere, I make sure that I'm going somewhere in a group where I want to go, where I have control. Because I don't want them having the control. And I'll tell you, I don't know if Jim is here or he's listening or what the deal is, but he always goes with his wife places, but he also goes with a bunch of other people. And he never has any say on what goes on. Or he may be paying for it, and maybe he has a little bit of say. Oh, I don't really want to do that. And then they just do it, and he doesn't do it. But that's not what I want. You know. So I don't know what kind of people you're talking about. I mean, if you're talking about Isoners, and yeah, I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. I remember, being with a girl there, and when we went somewhere, it was usually her family went, and if we went out to dinner, it was the whole family. It was 10 people, and then usually I had to pay. Because they love and respect their family and enjoy spending time with them. Yeah, that's true. Thais love their family. Always before. They love their family before they love you. If you're just some guy coming in and they're just showing you off to the family and you haven't, you're not like married to her, even if you've been banging her, you're down on the list, man. Yeah, it is cultural because they love their family and they like to be with people. But once they have their own family, like I do, like Tom does, even Jim, I think he's starting to change a little bit because he doesn't go as often anymore, because I think if he's going to go, it's somewhere he wants to go. So, and a lot of people I know, well, I don't know, Dowlo, I don't know, he's been busy lately, but he's always with his wife. He always goes places with his wife and with some of their friends. So I don't know, maybe he hasn't been, he's not in Thailand, and they're just like, they want to take the opportunity to meet with people and go out with a bunch of different people. We're not like that. We're pretty private. I mean, my wife will say, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this, and then we end up watching 3 movies, and 6 hours later we're like, oh shit, we didn't do anything. we didn't do anything today. We just watched movies. Anyway, all right, stop messaging me. Jesus Christ. Like a fucking old lady. You always hear, what the hell is this? Oh, okay. You always hear about the worst tourists. You hear about the loud ones, the rude ones, the one who cause problems, the one who wish you stayed home. But what about the best tourists? The ones who make the world a better place, and they make the Thai people happy because not only do they respect the culture, but they actually spend some money. So we're gonna kind of flip the script on. We're not going after Israelis, and we're not going after a bunch of other people on the list. And I can tell you that Israelis and Americans are on the worst set of tourists. So, I'm sure you guys can come up with a few of the tourists on your own, but we're going to talk about it a little bit. So, anyway, before I go any further, I am Scott, in case you don't know it. I'm an American who's been living here for 30 years, and I got a guy the other day going, I don't care how long you've been living here. You don't have a right to talk about nationalities like that. Oh, fuck you. That's all I'm going to say. All you think I'm doing it because, of Israel and Palestine and really, fuck off. I'll say that very clearly. I don't give a shit where they're from. If they're Chinese, if they're American, if they're Mexican, it doesn't matter. If they're just somebody that's not acting right, I get along with everybody. I really do. Even Tom, and he's an American, and I somehow get along with him. I don't know how, but I do. I manage. That's the thing. So it doesn't matter if you're an American, a Brit, an Israeli. I could sit and have a conversation with an Israeli, and as long as they were decent, I'd get along with them. It's that simple. So stop taking it so literally and personally, and oh my God, he's an anti-Semite. No, I'm not. You know why? Because I'm part Jewish. Nobody knows that. Bunch of idiots. I am part Jewish on my father's side. My father was Jewish, and he did not want to continue with the religion because he didn't believe in it. So while I'm not, a practicing Jewish person, I have Jewish blood. So for those who say, oh, you hate these people. No, I don't. You got another thing coming. That's the truth. Unbelievable. All right, let's get through this. because that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to get through this. Wow. Number 10 on the list. Can you guess who number 10 is? Can you guess who number 10 is?
Canadians.
Can you guess who number 10 is?
I'm done.
Number 10, believe it or not, and this is not coming from me. This is from ChatGPT. Number 10 on the list is Thailand. Unbelievable. Quiet, modest, and respectful of other cultures. You rarely hear about them, and again, that is a compliment. And let me tell you something, when you think about how tolerant Thai people are in Thailand, and while I may say, oh, people want to leave, there are some problems with Thailand, okay, so that doesn't mean I hate the country, because I don't. And anytime I meet a Thai person out of the country, I get along with them great, especially because I speak the language. Believe it or not, some of you, I had a guy tell me, shame on you, Scott, you don't speak, read, or write, and you're living off $1,000 a month. I'm going, how does this fucking guy think he knows me at all? You don't know me. You haven't got a freaking clue. You really are clueless, especially if you think that's what I live off of. Because I've been here for 30 years and I haven't been living off of $1,000 a month. That's just stupid. Anyway, Thai tourist. You think about the Thais, and you think about generally how gracious they are. Now, you go into the tourist areas, and yeah, every once in a while you get somebody who's in a bad mood, or they might treat you a little bit poorly, or something like that. I think, honestly, some of them, they just get jaded, and that's how it works, But if you're decent with them, there are some people that I know, and they speak English, and they deal with people all the time that don't speak Thai. And they don't understand the whole system of everything in Thailand. And, I'm just sitting there sometimes. And then they start talking to me later on. And I just think to myself, these people come in, they act like, they speak English, and everybody's got to understand them. Everybody has to capitulate, bow down to them because, well, this is my way. This is the German way. This is the American way, whatever it might be. And that's the thing about Thais. They don't want to bow down to you. They don't want to bow down to anybody. And, for what it's worth, I think, why should they? Why should they allow people to come in their country? I mean, I talk about this all the time. The one thing that kind of bugs me is that it's very hard for me to become a citizen here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, shit. What's this here? God damn it. There we go.
Not easy to turn left-handed.
To what?
Not easy to change to be left-handed.
No. I've become a lefty. My right is pretty worthless. I was thinking about bringing the spray today, and I just went, no. I bought a can yesterday, and it's almost gone already. $299 baht. This is my 4th can that I'm going to get today. Unbelievable. Thank you very much, Nomad Arch. I appreciate it. Very nice. Thank you. So let me get back to what I was going on about here. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Thais, for the most part, if you're decent with them, they're going to be decent to you. If you are a drunk and you're a happy drunk, you're probably going to get along with them. If you are a drunk and you are a nasty drunk, you might have some problems. Yeah, if you're an angry drunk, you're a nasty drunk, they'll be tolerant up to a point, and then they'll just crack, and that'll be it. It's on. And if you're drunk, who knows how you're going to fare. All right, number 9. You want to guess? Singapore. Neat, respectful, and rules-oriented. And let me just say, they're a little too rules-oriented and a little bit too much into work. This is coming from me, who I've been there, I don't know how many times, countless. And I was there for a month, staying in a hotel, very nice hotel, while we were working. And while, yes, they are very nice, this is the rule and that's the way that it goes, and you will do it this way. When they are tourists, they generally follow the rules, and you don't hear about many Singaporeans causing all kinds of problems in Thailand. They come from order and they don't bring chaos with them. So that's something else. You should remember that. Number 8. Wow. Number 8. New Zealand tourists. ChatGPT comes up with this, and it comes up from various different sources. Number 8 is New Zealand. Hang on a second. All right, so New Zealand. Singapore and Japan run like a corporation, very strict. Yes, that's very true. How you doing, Raymond? New Zealand tourists tend to be polite and unpretentious. Kiwis are easy to host and hard to offend. They're the nice neighbor you never really knew that you had. I don't really know many Kiwis. I know a couple. I think Stickman is a Kiwi, the guy Stickman. And I think there's a couple others that I know. I haven't talked to in a long time. There was a guy who used to come into the mall that was a Kiwi.
I know one who's one of the biggest fraudsters we ever had.
All right, man.
Well, he's an exception, I think.
Thank you, Tom, for shitting on my parade.
He's an exceptional fraudster. Anyway.
Number 7, and I think a lot of people here might appreciate this. Australian tourists tend to be older travelers, and while the younger ones can get a bit wild, the older ones are the salt of the earth. They travel to enjoy and not to dominate. And I got to give a big shout out to, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Patia Bob. Patia Bob, I haven't said anything about you or much about you on the streams lately. I hope you're doing well. Carlos, I hope you're doing well. Mr. Longhorns, I hope you're doing well.
Steve Irwin's daughter was in the news the other day for being in a hospital for appendicitis. The Australian guy that did the
and why does that relate to?
He's an Australian.
Well, that's really nice. That's really nice.
He was a good guy.
I met with Mr. Andy Travels the other day, only for a brief period of time, a couple hours. But I met with Andy once before and had lunch with him, and had a nice time. And he's a nice guy, and he's your typical, and Dowlo also. They're your typical Australian older gentlemen, and they're not that much older. They're older, but they tend to be, they don't want any hassle with anything. All they want to do is come and enjoy themselves, which is what you should do when you're on a vacation and you're traveling. Number 6. You want to guess? South Korea.
Okay.
I don't know that I would expect this, but when I think of the Japanese tourists and the South Korean tourists and the Chinese tourists, and I would say Japanese and South Korean tend to be a couple notches above the Chinese. That's just my opinion. And they are fast growing in numbers and reputation. And let me tell you something, I've been on Koh Samet, and there were a huge number of Koreans there. And I said to my wife, this place is filled with Koreans. And they basically ruled the bar. And I said, we need to get out of here. And I was leaving, and this guy walked up to me and he goes, you want a beer, mate? I look at him. And, he was South Korean. I go,
they can be energetic drunks.
And he was South Korean. He goes, yeah, I'm from South Korea. I go, okay, mate. He gave me a beer. We stood there for a while and drank more beer. You want another one? Let me give you another one.
They also like to do the whiskey and the beer, Joel.
Oh. I don't know about that. I've done a couple of those things, but I can't remember what was done. They're curious, they're energetic, they're well dressed, and they are eager to learn without being pushy.
They're also very shy when they don't speak English.
Okay. All right. Number 5.
Along with the theme.
Do you want to guess?
Japanese along with the theme.
Do you want to guess?
Japanese.
No.
Okay.
Dutch.
I said Dutch at the beginning.
Well, that wasn't.
I knew they'd be on the list.
Yeah, but they're number 5. They're up there. Independent and open-minded. They don't expect the world to revolve around them, like some Americans, and they don't complain when it doesn't revolve around them. Now, what I will say is, the Netherlands is one of my favorite places on the planet, and there was a time. Oh God, it's probably about 35 years ago, when I was going to the Netherlands every year, and I would go over my Thanksgiving holiday, and I would get like 3 or 4 weeks of time off, and I looked forward every year, man. I went and trained in Muay Thai. There was a famous gym there, but I wanted to go training, so I went. I went there every year. And I've been to Korea. I went there, and yeah, they are different, but I went to the Netherlands every year for about 5 or 6 years, and I took a month off, and I went there, and I went and trained in Muay Thai, and I got to be friends with the Dutch there, and I had just fantastic times. I mean, they were really, really fun. And, they were hard in the gym. And then, it'd be like, listen, there were some Japanese guys with us, and they said, all right, we're going to go out tonight. Or, just get dressed and let's go. We said, okay. We went out. It's freezing. It's like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, snowing, and we go out. And we start drinking some beer. Next thing you know, we're missing a Japanese guy. We go, where's the Japanese guy? We go out. He's laying in the car in his jacket. He was cold, but but he was okay. He said, no problem. Then next thing you know, another guy is missing. And I go, what the? The guy I was with who was taking care of me, the Dutch guy. Scotty, go see if he's out in the car. I said, all right. I went out, found him. They're both out in the car sleeping because they were just too drunk. Then we go in, and a couple hours later we come out, and they're a little bit cold, but they were sleeping. We go back to the gym, and we're at the gym. We're back in not at the gym. We're back home, and it was like 2 o'clock, 2:30, something like that. At 6 o'clock in the morning, those Japanese guys were up, and they were running. And me, I'm laying in the bed going, fuck that, I'm not going out. It's freezing out there. I'm not going out there. And, it's a little different for me. I didn't have any fights coming up or anything like that. They were always looking for fights. And so they went out and ran, and one of them threw up. So they would go and train, wake up when they were supposed to wake up, throw up all over the place, and just keep running. They had to train. That was the discipline that they had. And let me tell you something. I'll say this about the Japanese. Now, these are Japanese, but when it came time for me to leave the 1 year that they were there, I thought, oh, well, they didn't like that I wasn't training as hard as them, that sometimes I would miss a run or I would get too stoned and I would end up falling asleep and miss the training session.
In the Netherlands, stoned? No.
I went into a boat once, and this boat was so cool. I go in and I see it's a hash bar. I said, oh, wow. I get a little bit of hash and I eat it. And I'm like, okay, then I wasn't smoking it, I was eating it. They had space cakes. So I had like one piece, and then I was like, I don't even feel anything from this. I had like 4 pieces. And I'm like, son of a bitch, this isn't that strong. I said, all right, let me get one more piece and I'm gonna get out of here. Had my neck, as soon as I walked out, I was like, oh shit, man. And it was hard for me to walk. I went back to the room, I knocked out, and I didn't wake up. The next morning I woke up and I went, I missed the training last night. What happened? Oh my God. And the Japanese guys were looking at me. They were like, like that too. But they took me to the train station because I had to take the train back to the airport. They took me to the train station in the morning. They carried my bags. They're like, no, you don't carry. We'll take it for you. They took my bags there, and they're like bowing to me, and I mean it was so nice. They were the greatest guys, man. They were awesome.
Two things about the Dutch. Number one, they are, I think, Europe's earliest seafaring merchants.
Right.
And in that role, they became Thailand's first direct contact with Europe. When the captain, whatever his name was, went up the Champlain River and had an audience with the King Narve.
No.
Okay, that was their first direct contact with Europeans.
Okay. Nice.
And number two, the Dutch I met in Thailand are great people, but they are also.
Thank you, Richard.
They're also not shy at all about complaining about the ugly American. That's all.
Nobody complained about me, be honest. Yeah. But let me read this here. Strong Asian twist on the list. Okay. Koreans are the Irish of the East. Then you've never been to Korea. They couldn't be more different. I've been to Korea when they didn't treat me so well, but I don't hold that against them. But they weren't tourists, They treated me very well on a recent trip. They're kind people. Oh, well, I don't know. I'm talking about as tourists, they tend to be good people. I had one incident in the airport there. I don't hold that against them. And actually, in the Philippines, there are a lot of Philippines in Cebu. A lot of Koreans in Cebu. And some of the Koreans were not speaking nicely of them. And then I started talking to a couple of them, and I just went, yeah, they're all right. Who knows? Maybe the Philippines, I have no idea what the Filipinos, I don't know what they were. I have no idea what was going on. But they were always nice to me. I only had an experience with Koreans, a negative experience with Koreans, when I was going to get on a plane, and they had told me to come at a certain time. I went there. Then they said, no, not yet. You come back. I said, okay. I came back, and they said, you missed the plane. Sorry, you cannot get on. And then they went back and forth, and they eventually let me on. So it was fine. My old company I worked for was the Dutch company, Captain Perry. Oh, that was the guy, I guess.
That sounds right.
Captain Perry, okay. Yeah, if you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. Let's see here. Alrighty, so let me go on here. Number 4. And this kind of surprises me. 944. Germans.
That surprises me. I would have put Danish before Germans. I mean.
Well, I'll get to that in a minute.
If the Danes aren't on the list, maybe they're higher. I don't know.
Punctual, organized, and usually trying to speak your language. Germans respect structure and rarely make a mess, figuratively or literally. I gotta say, I know a few Germans who live here. And the one of the first guys I met here that was German, he knew how to read Thai, and when I didn't. I'd only been here for, I don't know, maybe 3 years or something, and I couldn't read Thai very well. And he's the guy who told me, you see that? Pepsi. And he taught me, oh, that's Pepsi. That's Coke. He showed me. And then I went, oh, okay.
Did he break down the letters?
Well, it depends. Like, Pepsi is Sala-E.
No, but did he break down the letters in the...
He told me about the alphabet and everything like that. So I learned a little bit of how to speak Thai from that guy, just the basics. And then I figured a lot of things out myself. And then, I eventually learned, but he was very helpful. And he was a nice guy. His name was Uwe. Uwe. U-W-E, I think was his name. Anyway, I don't know where that guy is. This is long gone from now. All right, number 3, Scandinavian tourists. So they lump them all together, Swedish, Norwegian, and Danish.
Yeah.
Chill, well-educated and culturally aware. They travel smart, spend well, and don't cause drama. Listen, I had a Swedish girlfriend back in the United States. God damn it, I can't remember her name now.
Was she dramatic?
No, she was good looking. She was really good looking. Really nice. Really nice girl. And she, we knew nothing was going to happen, but She asked me to come to Malmo. Oh, you have to come to Malmo where I live. And then yeah, I'm gonna come next year. Okay, I will.
One of the thresholds for her.
And then I didn't go, and then I lost out on her. But she was very nice. But I would say all the Norwegians I've met, with the exception of one man who I beat up, have been really, really cool. Now, this guy was a Danish guy, and he ended up getting way too drunk and starting problems with me. Several times he made a problem with me. Like several different times I saw him out in the bars, and I don't know why. Maybe he just thought he could pick on me or something. I don't know. But generally I find the Norwegians and the Danish and the Swedish and the Finns to be very fun, happy people. Yeah, and I don't really have anything bad to say about them. Now, when it comes to the way they treat women and the way the women treat the men and everything, I don't know about that. I'd like to get into that a little bit more. But number 2,
Japanese?
Canada. Famous for apologizing even when you step on their foot. Friendly, low maintenance, and rarely disrespectful. What more do you want? I know a lot of Canadians, and I've only really disliked one, and I'm not going to mention his name here. But I went to Canada to Kitimat. I went once. My father had some friends there, and they were all Canadians, and they were fantastic. We went out in a helicopter. One of them had a friend that was a helicopter pilot. We went out in a helicopter, and we went and dropped down right on a fishing bank. There was a sand bank. We just dropped right down there, walked about 5 feet away, started casting our reel out, and started fishing. And then we heard something in the brush, and we said, it's time to go. That could be a bear. We need to get out of here. Because we were way, way out there. It was a long way out there.
It's risky to assume Canadians have the same sense of humor that Americans have. Their sense of humor is very different.
Yeah, it's very different. I know a guy. I used to be close to a guy, pretty close to a guy. It was right when I came here. For the first, say, 5 years or so, he was a good guy. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing now. He made a lot of money, and then I think something happened, and I don't know what happened, where he went, what he did. I have no idea. Lost track of these guys, but, that happens. All right, number 1. You want to guess?
Japan?
Yes. Japanese tourists, they are the gold standard. Polite, respectful, clean, and shockingly quiet. If you owned a hotel or restaurant, you'd want a busload of Japanese tourists over just about anyone else. And I got nothing bad to say about Japanese. I love the Japanese. I mean, I don't care if they're tourists or they live in the country. I've been to Japan several times, and they always treated me so well. I always tell the story about I had a little business hotel. And, of course, there was the Japanese toilet, which I loved, which I was just like, oh, my God, this is awesome. But then, right when I got there, my computer took a dump. I couldn't use my computer. And I was like, what am I supposed to do here? I got to work. What am I going to do? And I was trying to figure it out. And I went downstairs, and I go, you have a internet cafe? And he goes, I'll give you a computer. He gave me a computer.
In 1993, I lived in Japan for 2 years, and I could turn on my bathtub onsen and my toilet remotely from my telephone.
Wow, that's fantastic.
1993.
Yeah, 1993, that's so awesome, yeah. I do remember going there and being on my phone that I actually had to rent. I had to rent a phone there when I was there because of the difference of bandwidth or something like that. And it was fantastic. It was so nice, man. But yeah, I mean, and then he lent me the laptop. That was great. I had the toilet the whole time. I didn't have an onsen. And everybody that I was involved with there was like, I would say, you could say Singaporeans have their act together business-wise most of the time, but Japanese have it at another level. It's like ingrained in their DNA.
Oh, yeah.
They were so good to me. They treated me so well. And I was just like, I feel like if they're gonna do business with me, I don't know that I could reach the same standards as they did with me. They treated me so well, man. Just back from a month in Japan, incredible country and people. Yeah, and I wanted to go there. I still want to go there. Alex has been there, and he's like, he wants to go back. He's been saying to us, "Oh, I want to go back," and I go, "Well, then I'm going with you." But we were talking about it, and I said, "Is Nicholas going to Phuket with you?" No, I don't think he is, because he's got to stay busy all the time. I don't know what he's going to do for all the time where I'm working. I said, okay, so then what? Then he wants to go to Surat. And Alex is going to Surat. You want to go to Surat. So all of us want to go to Surat. So after we go to Phuket, we'll go to Surat. So supposedly that's the plan. Cheap now, the yen. Yeah, the yen has collapsed. I understand that. That's pretty good for us Americans. All right, let me see here. Now, the Japanese, they're awesome. We're going to get into some of these honorable mentions. And to be honest, I don't really think some of these belong on the list. So, yeah. But listen, I have not said anything about this yet, but please do me a favor. Click the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I would appreciate that. And hit the notification bell, because if you do, you'll be notified of any upcoming streams or upcoming videos. If you want to send me a letter, a comment, whatever it is, you want to tell me, something good, something bad, that's fine. Or you want to send me a Dear Scott letter, or you need a consultation, email me at anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. And if you want to help support the channel, well, you keep on watching, keep on sharing, keep on subscribing, and if you really want, hit the join button, and for $1.99 you can become a member of the channel. I've got all kinds of ways, but I'm not going to get into them. They're all down in the description. So there you go. All right. Now we're going to talk about the honorable mentions. And I'm going to start, how many are there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They're not numbered. So we'll just say number 10, and these are in no particular order. Quiet, clean, and usually older. They're wherever they are to enjoy and not to make noise, and that is the Swiss. Every once in a while I meet someone from Switzerland, and I always think that they're very cool. I never have any problems with anybody from Switzerland. They seemingly have their act together. So, yeah, I would say they belong on the list. Maybe they might even be in the top 10. Now they've got Finnish on here, and you know who has a lot of Finnish friends? Jono, my friend Jono. He has many, many Finnish friends. It says you'll barely notice them, and that's kind of the point. I don't barely notice them, but that's because Jono was like, oh, he's from Finland. Hey, here's this guy. Hey, he's from Finland. He's always letting me know they're from Finland, which, okay, great, you're from Finland. It doesn't matter to me. It's just a word, and it's a country, and it's, attached to you. Okay. But everyone that I've met, I've liked. So they belong on the honorable mention. Now, here's another one that kind of surprised me. Portuguese. Friendly and easygoing, rarely the source of any problems. Now, when you think about it, you see, people have said to me, oh, what about the Chinese? What about the Russians? What about this? What about that? You're picking on the Israelis. No, I'll pick on the Chinese. I'll pick on the Russians. If Americans do something wrong, I'll pick on them. It doesn't have to do with the nationality. Now, to stereotype, if a group of people is continuously getting into problems, if they're having problems, then guess what? That nationality is having more problems than, say, the Swiss. How many people do you hear about in Thailand that are going out cracking people over the head with a bottle, stealing from people and doing things that are from Switzerland, that are from Finland. You don't hear about this very often, okay? So let's, not get it twisted. It doesn't have anything to do about the nationality, but in the end, if you have 50 people that have been deported and they're all from, let's say that they're Chinese, and with China, a lot of the Uyghurs got deported, and then they had the people who were scammers. There was something like 2,000 Chinese that got deported, and that was because of what the scamming network that they had set up, and even Malaysians got deported. So there are people all over, but we're just saying in a smaller context, if you're going out causing problems, and what do you want? I don't understand it. Why do you want to go out and cause a hassle in some place you're supposed to have a good time? And Thailand kind of lends itself to having a good time. Oh, they cheated me out of 4 cents. Oh, they cheated me out of 5 baht. I'm going to get so upset about it.
That reflects more of the tourist desperation for money because they're here when they don't have the money to be here.
Well, maybe, but
I think so.
But like today, I was going to give the guy the 35 baht to drive me over here. I looked for taxis, and because of the rain, there were no taxis available. My wife couldn't get a taxi. I couldn't get a taxi. She was looking for motorbikes. She couldn't get a motorbike. And I said, well, what are you going to do? She said, well, maybe I'll just go to the yellow line and then take the yellow line and, do everything I got to do. Or maybe I'll go to the airport lane. I said, okay, that sounds good. So then I kept looking, and I'm like, what am I going to have to do? It's raining out. I don't want to go on a motorbike, and I can't get a taxi. What am I supposed to do? So I waited, and the rain started slowing down. I still couldn't get a taxi, so I said, I get a motorbike. I got a motorbike. I came over here, and I thought there was so much traffic to get here. Usually it takes you like 3 minutes from my house to get here. Today it took about 10, and it was because of the traffic. And the guy I was with is trying to navigate and get here. And he was having a hard time because a lot of the cars are close together. You can't go in between them. You can't. And I was like, guy's having a hard time, it's not a great day.
At least he wasn't being irresponsible and slipping on the road.
No, he was being very responsible. He was driving slowly. And, I thought, well, I guess this is what I want. I just want to get there, and I don't want to have any problems. So normally you pay 35 baht. I had 220s. I handed him the 220s, and I went, that's all right. You just keep the 5 baht, buddy. Come on. It's not that much. The percentage or whatever, but it isn't that much.
I was actually speaking firsthand. In those times in my life, I've been in Thailand and I've been stressed for money. I complain about those 5 baht. I want change. When I'm not stressed out about money,
you don't care.
I just let it go.
Well, here's the thing. The small amount of money over, say, 10 years, 20 years, it adds up.
Yeah.
However, there is such thing as goodwill.
Yes.
And that counts for something. And, then there's if you don't have the money, then kind of what are you here for? Oh, well, and then the bottom line is that if you are struggling, the key is, can you just make ends meet? Can you make ends meet long enough to figure something else out to make some more money so that you're not struggling as much? That's kind of what you want to do.
I've got a good relationship with the motorcycle taxis near my place.
Fuck.
It's 50 baht to come here. There have been a couple times I had 40 baht in my pocket. And the guy said, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then the next time I pay him 70 baht or 60 baht because
he gave you a deal.
It's cooperative with me and motors. And
yeah.
They're good guys. They're not trying to cheat me.
Well, that's the thing. If you work with the people and you're decent to them, generally they will be decent to you. And, I know some people may think sometimes I'm a prick, but when it comes to dealing with Thais and dealing with people here, I I don't act that way. I act in a decent manner. If they're due a certain amount of money, I make sure they always get what they were due, if not more. You know, I mean, you just, this is the thing. I see guys and, you know, they've got 120 baht bar tab, and they're like, I'll give you 100 baht. They negotiate, they're trying to negotiate the price of the beer. The price is what it is. And then they go, no, it's 120 baht. And then they go, oh no, I don't want to pay that. It's, you know, you give me a discount. That's just stupid.
I have an ongoing joke with the motorcycle taxis in my neighborhood.
I'm scared to hear your jokes.
Well, especially with the new
Is it funny, or is it just
know.
something that you think is funny?
I don't know. They think it's funny.
Uh-huh.
So especially if they have a new driver in their inventory, I'll tell them I want to go to the mall, and they say, okay. I said, but the mall 911. Partly because that sound is difficult for Americans to say.
Right.
And they go, huh? And I said, yeah, 20 baht.
That's not funny.
And we get here.
It's not funny.
And I gave them 50 baht, and I said, oh, the mall 911 now. We're already at the mall 911. And here's 20 baht, and I give them a 50.
Yeah, it's not funny, Tom.
They think it's funny. Maybe they're being...
Okay, anyway, going forward,
being
I don't want to
polite.
hear any more about this, because it isn't funny. I'll just tell you that. I understand about going different places, and, you know, it's hard to speak. I understand that, but let's go on. Czechs. The Czechs, calm, polite, and gaining ground around Asia. Yeah, I haven't seen many Czechs here. I think I've only seen one or two. Bhutanese. Almost mythical in their composure. I don't know about that, because I think I met a Bhutanese guy in Cambodia, and he was driving a tuk-tuk. Irish, older. Okay, I like Irish people. Every Irish person I've ever met, I always got along with. Storytellers, charmers, and damn respectful. Now, I don't know if, you know, Conor McGregor is damn respectful, but I don't care. You know, I would think I'd get along with him. Who knows?
He's approaching older, too.
Filipinos, warm, generous, and all about family. I guess it depends on the Filipino. Yeah, that's what I'll say. Vietnamese, older and affluent. I think if you meet the older, affluent Vietnamese, yes, they are courteous, measured, and composed. If you meet a younger Vietnamese, it depends on the situation that you're meeting them. If they are working, if they are just somebody that is having a great time as a tourist, or what they are. But generally, they're pretty nice. I have seen groups of Vietnamese tourists trying to bum rush the line at Suwon. You know, you're standing there in line, and then 20 of them like walk right in front of you, and they think they're in front of you, and that's okay, you know, and it's not. Okay, second to last one. Austrians, like Germans, but more relaxed. That sounds about right.
Less anal.
I have not met many Austrians in my life. Now, I know Arnold Schwarzenegger's an Austrian, but he doesn't really count because I don't know him. The last on the list of honorable mention is Chileans and Uruguayans. Rare, but leave a good impression when they travel. I know two Ecuadorians very well. One of them used to be a star. His name was the guy who sang Rico Suave. On and on, Rico Suave. His name was Javier. No, his name was Gerardo, and his brother, who I knew better, was Javier.
Before Chileans and Peruvians from that part of the world, I would rank Peruvians higher.
Okay.
Just from experience.
All right.
Nothing against either of the others.
Okay. Being a good tourist, just like being a bad tourist, isn't about nationality, it's about the mindset. Some nationalities consistently get it right. They just, some of them don't travel. They kind of elevate the place where they go to a higher level. And, you know, I did not see my country on the list. I didn't see America on the list. If not, maybe it's time to travel like the best do. Now, I've traveled a lot. I would say maybe when I was younger, I could have been a bit naive and maybe stupid about how to travel, but I don't really think so. I thought I generally was well read and knew a fair bit about how to travel. I traveled when I was like 10 years old, 12 years old. I went, you know, to the Bahamas, the Caymans, Canada. I went all over the place. So I think that's kind of helped me a little bit. But, you know, if Americans don't belong on the list, then they don't belong.
They're on the other list for a reason. It'd be hard to be on both lists.
Anyway, let me see what messages I got here. Oh, we don't have that many messages. VAT, do you mean I don't count? VAT.
Value added tax? VAT, I don't know.
I don't know, Nomad. I don't know if you count or not. I don't understand VAT. Do you mean I don't count? Trying to figure that one out. I don't know what that means, VAT. I know what it means, you know, value added tax, but I don't know what it means for you. VAT equals what? I don't know where you're from. I have no idea. You haven't told me. Nobody tells me anything. I don't know anything. What are you talking about? I'm a what?
You're a mushroom.
I'm a mushroom?
Kept in the dark, fed shit all the time.
Yeah, I'm a mushroom, I guess. He was doing an Austrian accent as Amy. I don't know. Maybe I'm not with it today. I just don't get it. I don't get anything anybody's saying here. Arnie. Oh. What do you mean I don't count? Okay, now I'm starting to get with it. All right, I understand. Thank you there, Dale. I appreciate that. You know, I know we haven't had that many people today, which is fine, whatever, but we've only got 23 thumbs up. I would really appreciate it if you guys would hit the thumbs up button and maybe share this live stream. That would be nice. If you can't, you can't. I don't know. I don't really know. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. For whatever reason, there's a lot of the normal people who don't, maybe they didn't expect me to be here today. I didn't either, really. Well, you know, part of me thinks it was good I came, and part of me thinks, why am I here? But, you know, it kept me busy for, well, so far it's only 70 minutes. It's kept me busy, a little bit busy for 70 minutes. And, you know, it's a little bit of fun. You get to learn a little something here and there. Let's see here. Do I have any really nasty messages I want to read? Because maybe I do.
You were talking about
respect wins
public
oppression.
toilet habits.
Oh God.
You were. Somebody on there.
Yes. Okay. So.
So the picture I showed you was from 1974 in Iran.
And
I thought you might share it with everybody. So to let them know that Thailand's not the only place.
Only place that what?
Uses public urinals in public.
Uses public urinals in public? All right, listen, I got to tell you, the exchange rate today, because I haven't got to this. Exchange rate today is 33.42. Fantastic. Considering it was under 33. The air quality today, 56. The temperature in Celsius, 27 degrees, high of 39, low of 25. The feel like is 28. In Fahrenheit, that's 80 degrees is the current temperature, high of 86. Wow, it's not going to get that hot today. Low of 77 and 82 is the feel like temperature. Now, here are the negatives. 90% humidity, and I don't know if it's still raining, but it's going to rain all week this week and perhaps some of next week, and I can tell you it's been raining a lot lately, and I don't mind it. Do you guys like the rain? I like the rain.
We need it.
I do like the rain. All right, what is this? Oh, so the tree is the, okay. Yeah, all right. Tom has a little bit different sense of humor than I do.
You might even say that I don't have a sense of humor.
Yeah, exactly. All right, anyway. What is this? Good morning, bro, from Holland. Well, hello, Holland. Oh, Sammy, thank you for joining us. Welcome. Good of you to be here. Yes, smash the like button, please. That would be very nice. Had a real problem getting people to smash the like button. Anytime you say something good about a country, or you say something bad about a country, you're bound to have people pissed off. You know, I mean, what did I do the other day? Some guy told me, oh, this is the second time you're wrong. Well, I'm not wrong. Let me just tell you something. If I'm talking about something that happened that could lead people, not a whole group of people, be smarter than that. I'm not talking about the entire population of Israel being banned. I'm talking about the people who did the thing. You're going to have to do a little bit more than that to have the whole population banned. Although, there are a number of countries who have banned Israel, but it has to do with their politics. Although in the Maldives, it did have something to do with bad behavior. So, you know, it really doesn't have to do with their nationality as much as it has to do with what they did. And, you know, what about the guy who he grabbed the girl's ass? What nationality was him? I don't remember.
Was it Russian? I'm trying to remember.
Maybe. Let's see here. My Thai girl turned out to be a freelancer. That's what comes up with.
Pinching the ass.
Now here's one. This was a couple years ago, and it says, "Man pinches woman's butt in Thailand. Her boyfriend responds with a knife." Listen, you don't go around grabbing some chick's ass that you don't know. If you grabbed my chick's ass, I don't care how big you were, how bad you were, there would be some kind of a repercussion. That's all I'm gonna say. Something would happen, and it wouldn't be pretty. It's not good. Oh, so the guy who, yeah, I don't know what the hell this is about, but let me just I want to put this in the chat GPT and see what it says. I think that was this year, wasn't it? Was it this year or last year?
I remember you talking about just a few weeks ago.
I think it was longer than that, but.
Well, it may have happened.
Okay, it was a Polish tourist. Let me see here. It says, it doesn't say when it was. When was it and what happened? Yeah, he didn't think he did anything wrong, that's a problem. You see, when you think there's nothing wrong and there definitely is something wrong, December 21st of last year.
Yeah, so just this year sometime, yeah, earlier this year.
Last year, December 21st.
But you talking about it even a week
Yeah, I
later
talked
this
about
year.
it, well, no, I talked about it like a week or two after. It's been a couple of months.
I didn't get here until January 6th.
31-year-old man named Piotr was captured on CCTV allegedly slapping a woman's buttocks. When confronted, he reportedly dismissed the act as something he does all the time at bars and claimed it was just a minor incident. I'm sorry. You don't just walk around out willy-nilly smacking some chick's ass. Believe me, I've seen some asses out there I'd love to smack and grab, and I don't do it. It's not proper behavior. You need to learn some proper behavior. This guy obviously doesn't know. Well, I've done it all the time at bars. I guess I should do it with every woman in Thailand.
Do it in churches.
Oh my God. The victim filed the complaint and he failed to respond to a police summons. They arrested him on January 14th, 2025. He was charged of committing an act of obscenity, blah, 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 blah. The case underscores the importance of respecting local laws and cultural norms while traveling. But it does not. What happened to him? Doesn't tell me.
He was deported.
As of now, there is no publicly available information confirming the final legal outcome. Anyway. Thai women often do that, so maybe it influenced them. Oh, come on. Really? Are you that naive? Oh, Thai women do it they always do it. They often do it. No, they don't.
Only on Soy Cowboy.
I can tell you that, like my wife will do it, and that's about it.
And not in public.
No, not out in public.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I have a much more conservative wife than you might be used to. I don't know. But I can tell you that even when I was out and about and, having my fun, yeah, okay, you're in a bar or something, yeah, maybe a woman would do that. But when you're outside of the bar and you're walking around in a part of town where, you're not in a bar, in an entertainment area, it doesn't happen.
Traditional Thai women won't even hold your hand in public.
They won't even hold your hand, and maybe they might not even talk to you. Although some of them do, that many of them do.
Although
but
Thailand, I never saw them 2 paces behind the man. Never
No.
experienced that here. Some cultures do.
No, I was talking to my wife today about being subservient, and she goes, I don't know what that means. And I go, subservient, you're lower down on the ladder, and, No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is just because you do it at a bar doesn't mean you can do it everywhere. That's faulty logic. Well, I did it at the bar, so I can do it at 7-Eleven. Oh, God, that hurt like hell.
I can do it at the temple.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nonsense. That's a nonsensical excuse. Well, because I could do it here, I should be able to do it everywhere. No, I don't think so. Anyway, whatever. You want to do it, go ahead, try it. See what happens. TkyoSam, I'm sorry. Scott is the coolest dude to ever be on live streams. Well, thank you very much. Glad to hear that. LOL, always hearing bad stories about those dudes when it comes to tourism in Thailand. Yes. Why is it I never hear that kind of stuff coming out of Japan? Now, you know why? Because it probably happens in Roppongi or somewhere like that, kind of like in Pattaya, Phuket, whatever. What do you think? Oh my God, here comes another question. Oh God. What do you think when my girlfriend wants me to meet her parents' family in Sakon Nakhon, and she says it's nice to show my love for paying for all the food and give them some money to show that's all it says, how much I love her. Well, how long have you been with her? Should you pay a sinsad to a Thai woman over 35? I doubt it. Seriously, it depends on what the situation was, but in most situations I would say no, or it's a token. Like, you give 200,000 and you get it back, or you get 100,000, 150,000 back. And if she's got kids, no. Nowadays they're less 3 months. I don't know, where'd you meet her? I mean, 3 months is not very long, but it might be long enough where it's real. I mean, I don't know.
It depends on where he
And it depends how much money are you giving them.
Where does he want to end up?
And yeah, what do you want from this girl? Are you going to marry her? How did you meet her? Did you meet her on an app online and you haven't come to Thailand yet? You're just coming, or what? I don't understand. I need to know some details in order to process all this logically. Oh, God. And Damon, tell me about the girl who's 35. I'd like to know about that. I'd like to get a little more information on that too. But I would say the chances are slim to none.
Chances of what?
Of him having to pay a sinsod for a girl that is over 35. I would say no, you don't need to. And if you do, it's for appearances only.
I learned that Thais do the appearances only among themselves. So it's not a big deal if you do. But
am I not going to get any further information from you guys, or what? Are you typing, or? I know there's a lag time, but you know, we got dead air here. You know. Oh, God.
When I was dating my wife, her brother got married.
Mm-hmm.
Because he got his longtime girlfriend pregnant, and they had this shotgun wedding with, you know, the smiles, the typical American Thai shotgun wedding. And he had the sinsod 200,000 baht on the family bed.
How long ago was this? 200,000.
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
15 years ago.
All right, that's still not a whole lot.
No, it's not.
But
it was symbolic.
Yeah, it's symbolic.
He borrowed the money from his wife's aunt, who was the richest person in their small village.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but it was publicly symbolic. And then he gave the money back to her when it was all over. And that happens. It even ties among themselves. So don't be insulted.
Yeah, sometimes they, you know, you'll get a portion of the money back. Sometimes you'll get a piece of land, or maybe you'll get a car or something like that. You might get something out of the deal. When it come to me, you know, my wife's sister was like, "You gotta pay, buddy. She's educated. She's gonna go place. You gotta pay." And I was like, and I didn't end up having to pay, because she went to her mother and said, "I love him. I really believe he loves me. I think we're going to be together forever. And I don't think there's going to be any problems like that. I think we have enough money to make our way. And I don't think that you should require him to give money." She basically negotiated everything. It wasn't me. And I was like, and even to this day, I tell her, you know, when it's possible to cough up a little bit of money, I always do, you know, just because, to be nice, you know.
With me, I told my wife, I said, explain to your family that we're going to be a blended American Thai family, and that some cultural norms we do the American way, and some cultural norms we'll do the Thai way. And this cultural norm, we're just not going to pay money, the sunshine. And the family accepted that.
Well, it doesn't really have to do, it doesn't always have to do with, oh, well, it's, you know, my culture, your culture, all that kind of stuff. Some of the families, they don't want the money. They don't need the money. And that's just how it is.
That's how we handle it. That's all I'm saying. That's how we explain it to them.
And you guys have not answered me. So, you know, I don't know what to say. What is this here? The reality is these guys are assholes in their home country. So they just continue to be assholes while on vacation. I tend to believe you're speaking of the Israelis. And I would tend to say that the ones who get into problems here in Southeast Asia are probably people who would have problems elsewhere if that's where they were going. I don't know, and I don't know them, and quite frankly, it doesn't matter to me, because you know what, when it comes down to it, I'm going to stay away from them. I don't want to have any problems. If you're going to start a freaking problem, I don't want to be anywhere near you. I got my own deals. I got my own problems. I got my own things to think about. I don't want to have to deal with your life because you got some kind of problem. Anyway, JW, I got no response from you. Damon, I got no response from you. So all I can do is tell you, you need to give me further information, and that's the answers I've given you already is all I can give you. So that's the way it goes. Oh, now I get the response. She asked me to give 150,000 baht. And also because she is not working when I am there, her parents are taking care of her, and she's got a kid. Dude, it's a no-brainer. I wouldn't give her the money. No. I don't care if she's not working or not. You know, I mean, what does she do? How much is she earning every month? 15,000. All right, that's a different story. 15,000. That's a hell of a lot different than 150,000. If it's only 15,000 and that's not a huge amount of money for you, I don't know how old you are or anything like that. I would say if it's 15,000, it's probably worth the chance. Now,
you're setting an expectation for the future.
Let me speak. This is my show, not yours. I don't need you fucking overtaking the stream. Listen, the deal is this. You need to figure out, okay, first of all, where did you meet her? That counts for a lot. Really, it counts for a hell of a lot. Where did you meet her? If she's not working when you're there, okay, I understand that too. How much potential does she have? Is she educated? If she's not educated, she needs to get educated. You know, she needs to get educated. That's the bottom line. Why would you be with somebody who's not educated? I mean, if you're not educated, that's a different story. She works in a massage salon. Dude, you're asking for problems now. She works in a massage parlor, and how long have you known her? And I don't mean you've known her for 3 months. How long have you been with her? How, you know, have you had sex with her yet? Damon, her family wanted livestock, but I respect your answer. Well, how much livestock did they want? She's over 35 years old, man. I'm going to guess that she has a kid or two. And that, you know, getting money for sinsod is basically giving money to a virgin. It's not giving this money to someone who has 2 kids, who's been married and who's had 5 boyfriends or something like that. That's not what it's for. And the thing is, if you know about the culture and you learn about who is supposed to get it, who's not supposed to get it, then you can go to her with your own information that you know is true, and you say, this is how it is. Honey, you're over 35 years old. You're pushing 40. You got 2 kids. If I'm going to have to take care of them, why am I giving you money? Honey, let's use that money to the future to take care of the kids. Let's put that money in a joint bank account. And if you put the money in a joint bank account, she takes it all out, then you go, hey, you know, this deal's off, bye-bye. Yeah, 15,000, that's a big difference between 100. If it was 150 for 3 months, I'd be like, hell no. Now, her saying that you knowing that she works in a massage parlor, is it a happy ending massage parlor? Is it a regular massage parlor? How long had she been working there? There's all these things to think about. And what I always say is, if they work in a massage parlor, it's a no-go, man. Now think about, first of all, I look at my wife and I think to myself, if my wife said she wanted to work in a massage parlor, she's touching men all day long, every day. That's her job, to touch men and women, to give massages. Now, I personally don't want my wife touching all kinds of men and women. I just don't want it. She can touch me, she can touch my kids, she can touch our cats, but she can't touch a bunch of other men. I just don't want it. That's for me. Now, it may not be for you. The other thing is, I don't know, you haven't told me, because for whatever reason I'm not getting quick responses here, but I don't know what kind of a massage parlor it is. Is it a regular massage parlor, a traditional massage parlor, or is it a massage parlor where, you know, things go on? You know, where like maybe she's giving a little of this or something else, you know, and that shit's important. To me, it's important. Listen, if she's giving blowjobs or hand jobs in a massage parlor, well, now it's not like, oh, well, she gave one hand job. Come on. If she gave one hand job, you never know. She could have given, if she's been working there 5 years, she could have given 200 hand jobs. It's 200 men. To me, I just don't want that kind of a girl. And I don't think you need that kind of a girl. But that's not to say that this is the case, because you haven't given me all the information. And you have not told me how old you are and how old she is. So I'll just wait for a second, and if I don't get the information, then I'll just, you know, we'll move on. I can see no happy ending to this relationship. I understand. And I don't really see a happy ending either. And, you know, it's funny. People ask me questions, but then when I give the answers, they don't answer back. They don't give me, you know, you don't hear what you want to hear. Oh, you're 50 and she's 30 and they do happy endings there. Well, I would say no. No. Oh, you love her. Do you really love her? Or is it just convenience and, oh, she's a hot, sexy 30-year-old girl giving you attention? I don't care if you're really good looking and really in good shape and everything. Most 30-year-old women don't want 50-year-old men. And if you're not in great shape and look great, and you're an average 50-year-old, then I would say she's probably not attracted to you physically. She's not looking at you going, oh God, I can't wait until we have sex, because oh my God, I want it. She's not thinking that way. She's thinking long term about money, you taking care of her.
Best case, she's thinking about supporting a kid.
Well, yeah, most women who have kids, and did you say, oh, she has a daughter, so she's got a kid. I mean, no, dude, I wouldn't. I just can't. I can't give you the rubber stamp on it. It's too iffy. You know, I'm sorry to say that, really. And Damon, you know, you said she wanted livestock, but I respect your answer. Okay, well, I don't know what the going rate for a cow is right now, but I know it's a fair bit. Do you know?
Buffalo? I have no idea.
No, you know, it used to be the chicken was 500 baht. Now it's something like 1,500 or something. But I don't know. It depends on where you are, where you get them.
My dog killed a chicken, and they would pay 1,000 baht for it.
See, there you go. Yeah, well, I remember when it was 500 baht back in the day, but yeah, I wouldn't give either one of you the go ahead on your relationships. And this is the problem. And do you speak any Thai? And I'm going to say no. And she probably speaks broken English. So everything that I've seen, I'm sorry, I got to give the thumbs down to both of you. And I wish I could say something else. I wish I could be really nice and go, oh, she sounds like a wonderful person. I wish I could do that.
She might be, but from the evidence?
Yeah, she might be. But generally, what I would say are, odds are, she's been in that situation before. Well, there you go. You don't know what's happening when you're in your country. And that's the main reason why these women, they know they can prey on you. I'm not saying that's her case, that she's trying to prey on you. Maybe she does want a good guy and she wants to stop, and I don't know. But what I would say is, for men come to Thailand, they're not living in the country, they have to go back to their country, let's say in 2 or 3 weeks, my vacation's over, I gotta go back. But baby, I met you and I love you, and I've been with you for a week. I love you so much. Honey, please, what are you going to do? You can't work. Oh, my, I don't want you to work. No, you can't do that job in the bar anymore. No, honey, don't do it.
How much do you need a month?
Yeah, how much do you need every month? Oh, fuck, that hurt. How much do you need every month? You know, what do you need? Okay. In a massage parlor, you know, they're probably, some of them probably are not making as much money as most of the girls in the bars. But, yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, I can't stamp off on that, but you're sitting there going, what's happening, what's happening? No matter if you call, how do you know if she's jerking some guy off? I mean, I just look at it, I look at it very graphically. And I look at it like, okay, let's say she gives happy endings, and we're not even talking about intercourse. We're talking about, you know, hand jobs and blow jobs. She decides this guy's a nice guy, he's good looking, he's, you know, oh, I think he's handsome. And, you know, listen, I see guys sometimes, my wife's done it, many other women, and she goes, oh, that guy's handsome. I'm going, in my country, that guy's an ugly motherfucker. But, oh, he's got a big nose. I guess he has a big cock, too. You know, whatever. But let's say that she gives him a blowjob. Now she gives him a blowjob, she swallows. You really want that? You know what I mean? Like, you come back the following day, you just happen to fly in the next day.
And you hope she brushed her teeth.
She just blew this guy yesterday. And here you are going, oh, my love. Oh, honey, I love you so much, I miss you. You know, it kind of falls flat, man. It doesn't operate that way, you know?
The bait on the hook.
Yeah, that's what happened. And let me tell you something. They know it. Thai women know that they put the bait on the hook, they throw it out there, and if they get a guy and they slowly reel him in, I mean, I say my wife did it with me. And I don't mean it in a bad way.
The ones in the massage bar are probably...
Oh, they're full out playing the game.
They're playing 3 or 4 rods at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Now, when I say it, you know, with my wife or with a bunch of other women who are like supposed to be good women, she put it out there, and I kind of was like, well, yeah. And I'll tell you, at first, I didn't like my wife. I thought, I can't tell, does she have a nice butt, a little butt? What kind of, how is she? I couldn't tell because she wore loose clothes. She didn't want me to see her body, which is a good sign. Then when I saw it, I went, oh, okay. You know, looks good to me. 25 chickens and a pig. She's a hotel manager at a major chain hotel with 1 kid, 10 years age difference. All right, well, the age difference is not that much. 25 chickens and a pig. Oh, my God. I don't know. Let's just say off the top of my head, that's 50,000 baht. That's not much. Okay, it's not much. But she does have a kid. So you got to think about that. Do you want to get involved with somebody who has a kid? Is her husband still involved in the relationship?
Or the kid's father.
Yeah. Ex-husband or father or whatever. Is he still involved in the relationship? What's the relationship like? You didn't tell me your age. So if you're, let's say you're 40 and she's 30 and the kid is, 15. Okay, no, there's 2 different people. And then if the kid's going to be around for a long time, that's another issue you got to deal with. Dealing with a kid. And you're going to come last. You come second to the kid. Now, they may try to put you first, and, they try, but they can't. You cannot be first. When kid goes, Mama, I don't feel good, I'm sick, what do you think she's doing? She's worrying about draining your balls and making you a nice plate of pad thai or something? She's worried about the kid. If she's any kind of a mother, she wants to take care of the kid first. So let's just get that out of the way. Now with you, Damon, I would just say, I would first think about, do you really want the kid? How old the kid is? How much longer are you going to have to take care of him? Is he a good kid? Is he the kind of, he might only be 3 years old, I don't know. Is he the kind of kid who is going to be able to make it on his own? Are you going to be able to finance him to go to a university? Because that's another thing. You got to think about when he goes to university. That's all about the money. She works at a major chain hotel, and she's a manager, so she's making halfway decent money. She's not making huge money, but she's making decent money. So she can take care of him without you. So that's a good sign. She doesn't need you.
The red flag I see there is why is she asking him for money.
Well, wait a minute. Is he the guy?
I don't know.
No, she wasn't asking for money. That was the other guy.
The farm animals.
Well, yeah, that's another thing too.
If she's making good money, why does she need your money to buy the farm animals?
Yeah, why does she need the farm animals? That's all. That's kind of another issue. Why does she need the farm animals? Why can't she afford that herself? I mean, maybe she's strapped. If she's like, let's say she's making $50,000, which is not that much. She's making $50,000, and she's just strapped for cash because she's got to pay for all the bills. Maybe she's got a car. She's got to pay for insurance. Got to pay for gas. Got to pay for maintenance. Got to pay for the kid to go to school. You know, all that shit adds up, man. So, you know, that's why I'm asking that. I just broken my virginity from my backside. I mean, okay, that's nice. I'm very glad to hear that from you. Like, we all want to know that. Thank you for telling us. But, you know, obviously it doesn't matter to me. I always have these dumb fucks. Why does Thailand attract the dummies? And I'm, you know, a lot of you guys, you seem, you're all smart, and, you know, you all can carry on a decent conversation. I get comments from people can't even write a fucking paragraph. They don't even, it's like they're English, but they can't even write in English.
A full sentence.
Yeah, they can't put it together a full sentence, and I just go, oh my God. And I got to deal with this shit all the time. And then after a while, I just go.
And then you take a break.
And then here I am when I just think to myself, I'm not a rocket scientist, I'm not a genius, but I got a fair amount of common sense. And, you know, I look at it like this. You know, I've been here for almost 31 years. And I've been married for about 27. And while my wife and I get along most of the time, we laugh, we have a good time. Every once in a while, yeah, we have our little spat. And, you know, a couple hours, we're fine. No problem. And she's, you know, to me, she's a good girl. Until she proves me otherwise, she's a good girl. And until I prove her otherwise, you know, I'm good to her. And she knows that now. So when you think about that, and then you think, okay, I got the woman. I got enough money coming in where I'm very comfortable. I'm doing this. All right, I try to help you guys. Some people don't want to listen, and that's fine. Don't listen. I had a guy yesterday tell me he has a good friend who doesn't speak any Thai at all. And he would disagree with me about learning to speak Thai. But he has a guy friend who's got a girlfriend of 2 years. And all they do is communicate via translator. And I just shook my fucking head. What happened to learning the language for the joy of it? The joy of learning Thai, or Spanish, or French. What happened to that? How about the ability to learn something and to be proud of yourself for learning another language? Boy, those Swenson people are loud.
Didn't know they had champagne?
You know what I'm saying? And then, how good would you feel if every time you're going to talk to your wife, you have to give her a nod, or of a little hand gesture, or of a little stupid remark that makes her think of something, or you have to use your translator to communicate with her? I mean, come on. Is that what you want? You want a girl you got to communicate with? You know, I mean, think about it. I don't care if you're guy, girl, guy, whatever it is. Whatever kind of relationship you have. And you're going to talk to him with a freaking translator? That's all you do? You got to have your phone with you all the time to translate and talk to her? This is the world we live in. I like to live in a world where I don't need my phone. I don't want my phone. I don't need my phone. You know when I need my phone? I get done here, maybe I put my headphones on, I listen to music. And that's all I do. I listen to music. Nah, I keep my Southern Thai shit. Bye night. Bye night. What the? You know, those kind of things. I know a little bit, Steve. I almost called you last night, Steve, but you did say you were going to text me, so I went, I'll wait. Ugh. I don't know. She tries to teach me Southern Thai sometimes, and I, you know, it's like, well, he did. The one guy said last night, the one thing he said is Thai is not used in very many countries, which is true. But you may use it in Cambodia. You may use it in Laos. Oh, God. You may use it a little bit in Myanmar, Malaysia. You may use it a little bit in other countries. But, you know, the thing is that I live here. That's the thing. If I didn't live here, I probably would learn a few words, and that's it. Just like I know a few words of Burmese. I know a little Isan. I know a little Southern Thai. And it becomes less and less as time goes by because I don't use it much. I know a little Russian. I know a little Cambodian. But I learned Thai because I live here. If the guy he's talking about lives here, what's he going to do? He's going to live here for 20 years and he's going to use a translator to talk to his girlfriend? Fucking A. I don't know. To me, it's stupid. That's just, I mean, you know, maybe you don't think so. Okay, fine. It's up to you. What I said was, then don't ever speak Thai when you're here. Speak English. That's all you got to do. Okay. I hope it works out for you. Simple as that. Wow, the place is open now, huh? God damn, it's been open for more than, what's it been open for? 40, almost 50 minutes.
Yes.
The mall is open. I've been open like 5 minutes. I don't know what I'm thinking. Oh, God. Anyway, there we have it. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Any other comments, questions? I'll try it tonight. All right. This guy's got my video in his playlist. Do I have enough to retire? God, I don't know when that was. I was wearing my thick black glasses back then. Jesus criminy. I had these thick black glasses that I wore. I don't know when it was, how many years. Oh, this is 8 years ago. Jesus Christ. I don't wear those glasses anymore. You know, I have glasses. Oh, they're over here. I have glasses and I don't even wear them. Tom has glasses. I didn't shave today because I didn't think I'd be doing this. I couldn't believe my eyes how they did it 3 times non-stoppable. I mean, Thai lady did it to me. What does that mean?
You don't need to share your bedroom experience.
We don't need to hear all your, you know, I don't know if that's a bedroom experience or a comment. I have no idea what you're trying to say, buddy. You lost me. Oh, God. That's it, right? You wanna expand on that? You wanna expand on that a little bit? Unbelievable. Unflippin' believable. I'm asking you this question there, DJEJ80. DJEJ80. I couldn't believe my eyes how they did it 3 times non-stoppable. I mean, Thai lady did it to me. What's that? She used a strap on or what? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what you're trying to say. And then I got another guy, another genius. $5. $5. Is that what your mother was worth when I stuck it in her mouth?
120 baht.
And as an off test, the language is now spoken in a mix of 3 languages for me. Okay, so what is that? I know. They're massive.
Not normal.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What languages would that be? I'm curious to know. Oh my God, I can't believe this channel, man. What have I become? Norway, English, and Thai. Okay, so your girl speaks a little Norwegian. She speaks a little Norwegian, too? Oh, well, that's good. Well, whatever works. Whatever works. I would say learn how to speak the Thai a lot better. And then eventually you'll speak Thai, English, Norwegian. But I think it's cool when the Thai chicks learn how to speak more languages than just English and Thai. Although some of them don't speak Thai very well. There are some Thai women out there who their Thai is so sloppy.
And they don't know it.
And they think, oh, you don't know, I can speak Thai perfect, no problem. But listen to the people who are on the newscasts. Those people speak proper Thai. But there are a lot of people they don't really speak great Thai. And I'm not saying I do. That's the thing. So, like the guy said, shame on you, Scott. You don't read, write, or speak Thai. Okay, that's news to me. And you've got a horrendous accent when you say, choke the leo jerk at mine. Well, I don't know why you say that, but whatever. All right, listen. We've taken too much time up today. I don't know why. Time seemed to fly by. The last, hour has flown by. Here we were. I thought we were at about an hour and 5 minutes, and now we're at almost 2 hours. I don't know how that happens. But what I would say...
I just brought so much joy into the conversation.
It's all about you. What I would say is, listen, I'm Scott, and I am an American in Thailand, where I've been for a long, long time. I've been here enough. We were just talking about it yesterday. I've almost been here a half of my life. And then, when you think of all the places that I've gone and where I've traveled and where I've lived part-time, I have lived already at this point. I've already lived my life more than half the time out of the United States where I'm from. Now, does that really count? I don't know. I don't know if it really counts, but it does give me a little level of experience of living in Thailand and traveling and, just doing the things that I do.
That and $4 will buy you a cup of coffee.
There you go. Well, I can always get a cup of coffee. Usually I can get a lunch. And maybe that's what I'm worth. A cup of coffee and a lunch. Anyway, anybody got anything else that they want to say? Any questions, comments, rude remarks, kind remarks, anything like that? Why do they lose control when they are doing me and I can't stop in middle of it anymore? They are done. I'm talking about ladyboys. I don't know about ladyboys, man. Have your way with them. I don't know. I guess all these people who come in think that maybe I enjoy them, but I don't.
Out of reference.
Yeah, you're talking about something completely different, my friend. I got a woman who is a woman. She was born a woman. And, you know, I've done... I don't really want to talk about it. I don't even know what to say to this guy. Weren't you on yesterday or whenever I streamed the last time, Friday? Weren't you in the stream? I can't remember if you were or not. I can't remember all these things. Let me see here. Well, I don't think so, because he created this account today. So, guess what? See you later. You're gone. Yeah, I was supposed to go to Tibet, and I was supposed to go to Japan, and I'm not going. And part of that has to do with my arm, which is non-useful. I got one arm, and that's about it. So, and actually, I could go to Europe. Chucky said to me, you know, we're going to Europe. If you want to go, I'll buy your ticket. Hey, you want to come anywhere you want to come? I got a free ticket for you. And I don't know if I'm going to go, because why? I'm in pain, and yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if I want to. I don't want to go through all the effort, you know, to go there. And when I say pain, I mean pain, man. It's the kind of pain that pain medicine doesn't take away. So, anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the contributions. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it. Until next time, I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. And I am out. I'll talk to you all later. All right? Take care. Boom. See you later.